Chung Xian, the tombstone of civilization illuminated by the torch of humanity. On the cosmic dilemma of moral idealism in the three-body problem, the birth of the maternal totem, the gene chain from cradle to tombstone. In the deterrence era of 2210 AD, when Chung Xian walked into the lobby of PIA, Planetary Defense Council Strategic Intelligence Agency, wearing a white lab coat, the electronic screen on the wall was playing a holographic image of Luo Ji holding a sword against the three-body fleet. She subconsciously protected her lower abdomen. An artificial uterine embryo had just been implanted there as a volunteer for the Civilization Spark project. This action became a metaphor for her life, embracing cosmic responsibilities with maternal instinct but suffocating human civilization in its cradle. 1. Genetic coding of childhood trauma. Abandoned baby identity. Rescued from being washed into a laundry basket during the Yangtze River flood, which made her have a morbid obsession with being chosen. Starry sky in the welfare home. Watching Jupiter twinkle through the iron window every night, imagining the stars as orphans waiting to be rescued. Naming ceremony. The director chose the word heart from the Tao Te Ching, but it trapped her in the paradox of the world is not benevolent for her whole life. 2. The virgin incubator of the deterrence era. In the world after waking up from hibernation, Chung Xian found that her genes were made into perfume, and her portrait was on the cover of Goodness magazine. This society that has religiousized human kindness is like a deformed flower spawned by a greenhouse. Deterrence culture. Beautifying Luo Ji's cold deterrence into guardian love. Maternal worship. Using holographic billboards to show the synthetic image of her embracing the earth. Moral kidnapping. People shouting, Chung Xian is light, is actually outsourcing the responsibility of survival to the symbolized virgin. 2. Replacement of the sword bearer. Destroying the 6.2 billion year evolutionary chain in 5 minutes. At the handover ceremony, the moment Chung Xian held the gravitational wave switch, the countdown of the Trisolarans lit up in her retina. This moment, which was later called the second destruction, condensed the cognitive dissonance of the entire civilization. 1. Cognitive fog before the button. Tactile deception. The PDC, Planetary Defense Council, designed the switch into the shape of a baby pacifier to relieve pressure. Information cocoon. The peace education she received after waking up from hibernation made her believe that the dark forest law had expired. Collective hypnosis. The psychologist used the rhetoric of motherhood is power to cover up the cruel nature of the deterrence game. 2. Slow-motion anatomy of the failure of deterrence. When the three-body water droplet destroyed the gravitational wave antenna, Chung Xian's physiological reaction became a classic research case. 0.3 seconds. Finger spasms, sweat glands secrete pheromones to show fear. 2.1 seconds. Tear glands activated blurred vision leading to loss of target. 4.8 seconds. Prefrontal cortex completely shut down and decision-making power was transferred to the reptilian brain. These 5 seconds prove that humans bet their survival on biological instincts, just like using matches to support a collapsing snow mountain. 3. The Great Migration of Australia. Millions of lambs on the altar of humanity, ****. In the death march forced to move to Australia, Chung Xian's red shawl became the only visible color. The refugees gathered towards her like slime mold, and this scene constituted a space opera version of Dante's Divine Comedy. 1. The dilemma of the Virgin Mary in the age of cannibalism. Moral halo. She refused to eat synthetic meat, but her followers cut off their own flesh to give to her. Verbal violence. Reciting The Little Prince on the radio seemed absurd and harsh in the tragedy of cannibalism. Power vacuum. People kneeled down to worship her red shawl like a medieval relic, which was actually self-deception and despair. 2. The farce of the Ark on the eve of two-dimensionalization. When Vader handed over the curvature engine, Chung Xian's speech in the Star Ring City Court exposed the cognitive blind spots of idealists. Technological fear. The curvature engine was regarded as a devil's gift, but it was not known that the Dark Forest attack had locked the solar system. Moral cleanliness. The declaration that we don't need to escape to prove our humanity made humans lose the last chance to escape. Responsibility transfer. Collective death in the name of human choice was actually a cowardly moral carnival. 4. Yun Tianming's fairy tale. The cognitive black domain illuminated by the love utopia. The night when she received Yun Tianming's can-brain Cheng Xin observed neuronal synapses with a microscope in the laboratory. Those flashing links reminded her of the galaxy map she had seen in the welfare home, but she did not understand the deep meaning. This man's love had long surpassed the love between men and women and became the code book for the survival of civilization. 1. The history of misreading three fairy tales. Taodai fish. She understood it as a warning of the threat of the three bodies, but it was actually a metaphor for dimensional attack. Du princess. She saw the tragedy of love, but it was actually a topological model driven by curvature. Deepwater prince. She lamented the impermanence of fate, but it was actually the technical blueprint of gravitational wave broadcasting. This collective misreading exposed the technological degradation and romantic cancer of human beings in the deterrence era. 2. Curse and blessing of stars. When Cheng Xin escaped from the two-dimensional world in a curvature spacecraft, Yun Tianming's recording sounded in the cabin. The universe is big, life is bigger. This last word became the most gentle irony to her. Time punishment. She carried the last spark of human civilization, but became a prisoner of time because of flying at the speed of light. Space curse. The Earth-like planets found across 18.97 million light-years are just another survival arena. Love tombstone. The stars Yun Tianming gave her eventually became wreaths at the funeral of the universe. V. The guardian of the two-dimensional tombstone. The last embers of the torch of humanity. In the Pluto Museum, Cheng Xin watched Luo Ji throw Mona Lisa into the two-dimensional sun. The canvas stretched out a weird smile in the dimensionality reduction, as if the universe was the ultimate mockery of mankind. The civilization you are proud of is nothing more than children's graffiti in the eyes of higher beings. 1. The deathbed diagnosis of human civilization. Technological childishness. Using the threat of the dark forest as a permanent amulet. Moral obesity. Using false goodwill to cover up the degeneration of the will to survive. Cognitive myopia. Never being able to transcend the emotional limitations of carbon-based organisms. 2. The cosmic echo of Cheng Zionism. When she left a 5-kilogram ecosphere in the microcosm, this action was full of symbolic meaning. Circular paradox. Using technology to preserve the original life form and repeat all the mistakes made by humans. Moral inertia. Even before the universe restarts, it still insists on not harming any bugs. Hope illusion. The swimming goldfish is just the afterimage of the two-dimensional solar system in the five-dimensional space. Epilogue. The last visitor to the Museum of Humanity. In the broadcast of the Zeroer announcing the return of Mass, Cheng Xin stroked the control panel of the microcosm. At this moment, she suddenly realized that the humanity she had insisted on all her life was nothing more than the flapping of wings of an insect in the amber of Earth civilization. The love and kindness that once made humans proud are both small and precious, both ridiculous and respectable on a cosmic scale. Her story tells us, when civilization regards morality as a religion, the instinct of survival becomes heresy. Those who hold the torch in the dark forest will either become saviors or prey coordinates. Humanity may not allow civilization to survive, but civilization without it is nothing more than a walking corpse in the sea of stars. Cheng Xin finally pressed the return button and drove the eco-ball to the unknown universe for rebirth. The goldfish swimming in the glass ball has a memory of only 7 seconds and will never know that it is the last tombstone of an extinct civilization and the first spark of the new universe. This may be the gentle curse that Lu Cixin left for all idealists. Let morality and survival tear each other forever until the end of time and space.